In this video I'm going to show you how I assemble the rings to make the base blank for my segmented veil. You'll see here that I'm lining up the chucks so that the 1 and 2 jaw matches up with the line that I marked when I took this out. It's really important to put it back in how you got it out, because that way you'll guarantee that you get the same center. It turns out that my first segment has an 1/8 inch hole in it, so I'm going to drill an 1/8 inch hole through this bloodwood. Doesn't matter that the hole's there. Later I'll be putting a 3/8 inch hole through this whole section. But by putting that 1/8 inch hole in there, I then go grab a small piece of 1/8 inch dowel rod, and you'll see me place it into this hole. I'm not going to glue it, I'm just putting it in to use as a centerpiece. Now I'm going to take my first segment. You can see fits on there nicely because it just turned out to have an 1/8 inch hole in it. Apply Titebond speed set glue to one side. These pieces were sanded on a drum sander before I began to give me a nice smooth parallel surface. So I'm going to put this on, kind of give it a little twist just to get the glue all smeared out. And then I'm going to grab the next ring. Since these rings have small holes in them, it turns out that the cone center fits really nicely into that hole and helps me line up these rings so that I end up with a pretty centered set of rings. So I'm going to apply more glue, smear it around with my finger. Now when I put this one on, you'll notice I bring the cone live center up, and I'm going to push that up tight. Make sure that you align the segments. In my scenario, I'm making a swirl, so the bloodwood segment should be halfway through the maple segment below it. So I'm going to let that set just for a minute, and I'm going to grab the next ring and I'm going to do the same thing. Again, all these rings, the hole is small enough in the center of them that this cone live center works beautifully. Apply more glue. Again, use the old finger to smear it all out and get it nice and even. Then I release the pressure on the cone center, put it back up, align the segment again. You can't fix this afterwards. You've got to make sure that the pattern is correct. Again, halfway through the maple with the piece of bloodwood. Tighten it down. Again, I'll let it set. Again, 30-45 seconds before I move to the next one. Again, distributing the glue, getting it nice and distributed, and then I'm going to release that cone center, push this next one up, align the pattern yet again so that it's correct. You can see that down that line there, how I have the segments spaced. My last segment is all bloodwood, but it's still segmented. And so when you put this one on, you will still make sure that you align the segments correctly. So I make sure that the segment line is halfway through one of the pieces of maple. That gives it the same look and feel all the way down the bell. Otherwise you would see the line look different where that segment bottom was. Align it and tighten it up. I don't feel confident that that cone center is applying pressure equally enough all the way to the outside edges of that larger rings. So I'm going to take a faceplate attached to a live center, put that in, and apply pressure to the entire surface. I'm holding on to it with my hand because this glue's not had a long time to dry. As you can see, this is about 3.5-4 minutes worth of time that's gone by. I used to give it more time to set up, but this is Titebond glue. It really grabs quickly. The speed set, you'll see now I've clamped it down. I'm going to start my watch. Speed set requires 15-minute clamping time, and so there's my timer for 15 minutes. Once that's done, I'll remove it and I'll have a blank to be able to turn one of my segmented bells from.